Now, your Storm Tracker 13 forecast first. Sponsored by George Sink Injury Lawyers.
And rain and thunderstorms continue across the area this afternoon. Not as strong as they were earlier. We have one little pocket of strong thunderstorms across Marlborough County. The severe thunderstorm warning for Darlington County has expired, and these storms weaken a little bit, but still heavy rain, a lot of thunder and lightning, and some gusty winds. These storms will continue to wind down as they move on off to the east through the evening hours, and temperatures have cooled down because of the rain. 70s and 80s right now. It will stay warm and muggy tonight in the 70s, and tomorrow more sunshine, less rain, and it's going to heat up. I'll have a look at how hot it's going to be this week coming up.
Coverage you can count on at 5 starts now.
Right now on News 13 at 5, the family of a man who died after saving a child from a rip current in Myrtle Beach is remembering his legacy.
Then we'll hear from one of the passengers on a flight out of Myrtle Beach International Airport that made an emergency landing due to an engine mishap. Then
primary day in South Carolina is tomorrow. We'll tell you what you need to know before casting your vote. Thanks for joining us for News 13 at 5. I'm Adriana Lawrence.
And I'm Annette Pegler. Well, new tonight at 5, we are hearing from the family of a Georgia man who died after helping a child caught in a rip current in Myrtle Beach.
Just a really sad story. The Horry County Coroner's Office identified the man as Derek Moore. News 13's Morgan Baker spoke with Moore's family about his legacy.
I spoke with Derek Moore's mother and brother, who say they weren't surprised to learn the beloved father and teacher died risking his life to save someone else. Police say Moore went into the ocean here at 10th Avenue South around 8 o'clock on Friday night to help a struggling child. Lifeguards were off duty at the time, and witnesses described strong rip currents in the area. Moore's brother says they've learned it was a little girl he saved, and that before saving her, he had also rescued the girl's uncle from the water. The coroner's office says Moore collapsed immediately after rescuing the little girl. His body was recovered Saturday near 11th Avenue South. Moore's family says helping others was simply in his nature.
He always welcomed neighbors into his home, his son's friends. He treated like his own children. He even raised a couple of his son's best friends because their families weren't able to help them out. He was just a selfless person.
At 6, I'll have more from Moore's family on the lesson they hope people will take away from this tragedy. Reporting in Myrtle Beach, Morgan Baker, News 13.
Morgan, thank you. The Horry County Coroner's Office says a man died in a home over the weekend after he was shot. The coroner's office said Ellis Brown died in his home on Eno Drive around 4 a.m. on Sunday. Police say they found Brown lying on the floor and was partially wrapped in a blanket. And just into our newsroom, we've learned police have taken Jamarius Brown into custody for questioning in connection with this incident. Make sure to count on us for updates.
The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division says a Darlington County man is facing charges after he made a series of violent social media posts. SLED charged Zane Smith with breach of peace of a high and aggravated nature last week. A SLED warrant alleges Smith used an account on X to make several derogatory and violent posts between March 16th and August 3rd. Investigators say some of those posts reference previous mass attacks and included images of firearms. Smith was booked into the Darlington County Detention Center.
New at 5, Myrtle Beach International Airport passengers are sharing their reaction after an emergency landing took place this morning.
Yeah, crazy video. News 13's Gabby Jones was at MYR this morning and has more.
I spoke to multiple passengers on this morning's American Airlines flight to Charlotte that say they were in disbelief when they saw the flames coming from the left side of the plane's engine, but are thankful that nobody was hurt. At around 8:15 Monday morning, crew members dispatched an issue on Flight 1760 before returning the plane safely to MYR, where officials say emergency response crews assisted. Airport rental crews shooting this video of the plane just after its departure say it's when they heard a loud boom and saw the left engine on fire. Passengers on the flight say not long after takeoff, it appears they hit a flock of birds, causing the plane to shudder. Other passengers tell me they could smell smoke coming from the plane before they saw the flames coming out of the left engine.
Smoke and then some flame outs, I guess they're called, and I guess the pilot was either trying to restart or do something. So after that, It seemed like they shut it down or whatever and came back.
County officials say the plane returned to MIR safely, where it underwent an inspection. Emergency response units were also dispatched to help assist. Reporting in MIR, Gabby Jonas, News 13.
Gabby, thank you. News 13 is your local election headquarters, and we are just hours away from the special U.S. Senate Republican primary election. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You will need to bring a valid photo ID with you to vote. As a reminder, voters who cast a ballot in the June Democratic primary are not eligible to vote in this special election. If a runoff is needed, that will happen on the 25th, and the winner will fill the vacant Senate seat left by Senator Lindsey Graham after his unexpected death last month. The nominee will face off against Dr. Annie Andrews in November. We'll have live team coverage of tomorrow's race and live results on News 13 at 11.
And with early voting wrapping up last week, the South Carolina Election Commission released its data of voter turnout. More than 60,000 voters across the state of South Carolina cast their early voting ballots last week, with nearly 20,000 voting on the last day of early voting. Horry County had the highest turnout in our area with almost 2,000 votes cast and the second highest turnout in the state.
And ahead of tomorrow's voting, Republican candidates made a stop in the PD, making their final pitches to voters. News 13's Maddie Cottaspati has more from the event.
As they stood before over 100 South Carolina voters, these candidates presented their plans for the Senate should they be elected to represent the Republican Party. And while each candidate had their own platforms, 3 of them chose to touch on affordability.
So I would just say it's a lot more than money. I think as candidates we agree on immigration, or you name the issue. I think we've got credentialed conservatives all the way across. But I think what does stand out about my candidacy is the degree to which we have focused on your pocketbook and your wallet and protecting that, whether in Columbia, South Carolina, or Washington, D.C.
We see this in every manner of our government. Regulations strangle us. Well, you got to put a stop to it, because that lowers your costs at the end of the day. That allows a little bit of pressure relief on your bottom line. You got to get government out of the way if we're going to solve this affordability crisis.
50% of them live paycheck to paycheck. That's sad. 60% of them don't have 3 months of money set aside to pay the bills. Something even sadder, I'm in that 60%. I've lived in that 50% for a long time. So I know what it's like to struggle, and I think that needs to be changed.
Coming up at 6, I'll have more from 2 more candidates who qualified for previous debates and what their campaigns are focused on. In the newsroom, Maddie Cottaspati, News 13.
And happening tonight, South Carolina Congressman Russell Fry will hold a Get Out the Vote event. This event will start in less than an hour at the Boathouse in Myrtle Beach. Tomorrow morning, Fry is expected to hold a Q&A session with the media at the South Strand Assembly of God before he casts his vote in Garden City at 10 a.m.
News 13 on-time traffic, sponsored by Joy Law Firm. Just call Joy.
And traffic not too bad right now on 501 between CCU and Carolina Forest. The occasional slowdown at the traffic lights. No problems on 544. Drive times along the Grand Strand on 501 from Carolina Forest to CCU. That's going to take 12 minutes. 17 in both directions along the Grand Strand. Moving a little bit slower than normal. Florence area looking okay. No issues in town. There is an accident on 95 going into Dillon County right now. And that's at mile marker 176. You can see that traffic is backed up and traffic is down to 1 lane northbound there on I-95. Currently on 95 from TV Road to 76, that'll take 10 minutes. Palmetto from 5 Points to Irby Street, 5 minutes. And 76 from Palmetto to I-95, 8 minutes.
Frank, thank you. The White House and Iran locked in a standoff over control of the Strait of Hormuz.
Tehran saying the key shipping route won't reopen until the U.S., quote, corrects its behavior. News Nation Washington correspondent Corey Smith reports from the White House.
Well, the president says he can ramp up economic pressure on Iran by keeping it cool. He is willing to swap direct strikes on Iran to watch their economy crumble in the hopes that it will bring Iran to the table and end this conflict. The president telling Axios he's low-keying it, saying we are only semi-negotiating with them. We are just watching Iran with its huge inflation and the fact they have no money. It will work out. It always works out. It's like a chess game. Now, the president made those comments a day after Iran issued new demands of its own, saying signing an agreement with Oman to create new shipping routes in the Strait of Hormuz won't be enough to reopen the critical waterway. Iran wants more, and here's what they're asking for. The U.S. must never threaten Iran or its allies in the region. It must lift its naval blockade on Iranian ports, withdraw the military, unfreeze Iranian assets. And this last one's the big sticking point. Iran says the U.S. and Israel must compensate it for damage caused since the war began. Now, the Trump administration has said once a deal is announced between Iran and Oman to fully reopen the strait, then the United States will lift the blockade. We know both of these sides are talking indirectly, sending messages through intermediaries. The White House, though, continues to maintain that progress is being made here, but some lawmakers on the Hill are struggling to see any signs of progress and say the president needs to come to the American people and explain how he will end this conflict.
I think the president needs to come out and speak forcefully on what the path forward is. And at some point, it may be that path forward works or not, but at least there needs to be that dialogue with the American people.
I am prepared to support a bad deal to end this war and reopen the strait, because the only deal that is available at this point in time is a terrible bad deal, but the war needs to end.
In 18 days, this war will turn 6 months old. So we'll see if this new low-key approach the president is taking can ultimately end the conflict. There are also issues in Gaza. You remember the president announced that peace plan to completely disarm Hamas. Well, Israel says it is rejecting that plan. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying that Israel will not make any withdrawal until Hamas is truly disarmed and will continue to thwart threats against our forces and citizens. Hamas also taking issue with the order of events here, saying it will only completely disarm once Israel begins to leave portions of Gaza. Right now, the Prime Minister's office says the U.S. and Israel are talking, though they are publicly stating there are some things in this peace plan that will not fly. At the White House, Corey Smith, News Nation.
And today's rain will be winding down overnight tonight. Most of us dry tomorrow, but it is going to heat up. I'll have a look at how hot it's going to get coming up next.